This video is for people that are trying to learn basic bar chords, right? Two families of bar chords, the E family and the A family. I don't think this is exactly the cage system, but it kind of is. It's a way to get you started, and I'm gonna call it the cage system today, but when you get further along, you'll see that it's not quite, but it draws from the same concept, and it's a great starting point if you are struggling with bar chords, or you're just trying to understand, more than just learning a chord, and you're trying to understand how chords function on the guitar. This is like a street guitar way of quickly getting up and running with more than just your open chords. So, what is the cage system? The cage system is when you take the chords C, A, G, E, and D, and you turn them into bar chords. You slide them up and down the neck to yield different chords. A lot of you guys who've been playing guitar for a little while probably already know like the E shape and the A shape. And you might know, for example, an F. And what is F? F is simply an E chord, E major, that you moved up a half step. That's the way you could use the cage system to understand how the guitar works, because a lot of times we know these open chords, but we don't really know why they're called what they are, and it doesn't really make sense. We just know these open chords, and because somebody told us this is a D, and somebody told us this is a C, but we're going to use the cage system to make it all make a lot more sense. So, a lot of people also know how a capo works, right? Let's say I got this capo, and I for whatever reason, I don't like the key that the open chords are in. I want to play a song that goes E minor, C, G, but I want to put it up higher so it sounds better for my voice. So let's say I'm going to put my capo here and I play the same chords, E minor, C, G. All those chords sound different, right? They sound different now, because it's no longer E minor, C, and G. I've transposed all of those chords, but because of the way the guitar is, like, you cannot do this on the piano. You can't put a capo on the piano, right? You have to learn all new fingerings. Because of the way the guitar is designed, you can just put on a capo and bust out the exact same chords. That's the beauty of the guitar. But there's a few reasons why you might want to use bar chords. One might be, let's say you forget your capo and you want to play the same song. Well, you may not be able to play that same song in a different key without incorporating some bar chords, right? The other reason is maybe you have a song that uses all open chords. There's nothing wrong with maximizing open chords, right? But if you have a song that's like, let's say High and Dry by Radiohead, somebody wants to learn that today. It has an F sharp minor, an A, and an E. There's no F sharp minor open chord. So to play in this key, if I don't have my capo, I'm going to have to use this bar chord. I'm forced to do that, right? So not every song is going to fit neatly into our open chord situations, right? And there's just, as you grow as a musician, you're going to want to know how to play other chords, right? Okay. So, let's say I don't have my capo. Let's go back to that scenario. And because if I had a capo, I could play my F sharp minor chord like this. I could just put my capo here and play that F sharp minor. I know you don't know why that's called F sharp minor. I assume you don't. I'll get to that in a second. But this is just an E minor chord that I moved up, right? But check it out. Couldn't I just put my pointer finger there, cover that fret, and it's still the same chord? Like, watch, listen. E minor, right? I just, instead of using these two fingers, I use these two fingers, and I put my other pointer finger there. I could have used this finger. I could have used somebody else's hand. It doesn't matter what I put there. And it just happens that that's a shape. That's a chord shape we can learn. So that came from E minor. This is an E minor, right? If I had more frets on my guitar, I would have to put my pointer finger here, right? Or if I had the capo, I would have to put it down there, and that would be, it's still E minor, it didn't change the sound, right? So imagine that, and you gotta count the frets. It's not about the distance, it's that there's an E minor, and there's an empty fret there, and my two pointer fingers go here, right? E minor, F minor, G minor, A minor, and this is E major, right? I'm assuming you know these two chords, E minor and E major. This is E major, F major, G major, A major. So right, we're just working on the E major shape right now. So E major and E minor. So that's those two shapes, right? How do I know the names of those two chords? I know the names of the notes on the low E string, and you can too, right? F, G, A, B, C, D, and it starts over here. There's E. E, D, C, B, A, G, F. If I put my finger here on G, and I plug in my E minor shape, I get a G minor. If I put my pointer finger here and I plug in the E major shape, right? Minor, major, go up to G, that's a G. Major, I get G major. You can play almost like every pop and rock and whatever song ever just by going like this. You can just go E minor, A minor, G, C major, right? This is minor or major. Okay, that's one of the 5 shapes of the cage system. That's the E shape, right? Okay, so now the next most common shape that people know. People get confused here all the time. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna play the A shape, and we're gonna slide the A shape around just the way we did before. Only now we're gonna be ignoring this string, and we're gonna be following the notes on the A string. So previously, just to recap, if I wanted to play B major, I would find a B on the low E string, right? There's a B. And I only know one type of bar chord. I know my E shape. So if I want B major, I find B, I plug in a B chord. That gives me, once I know the names of the notes, I can play every song ever, right? Every simple song with major or minor chords, I just plug it in. So, but as you notice, doing this song that I made up, that's a lot of sliding, especially if I'm singing into a mic, that's too much movement. So I want to keep it in the same area of the neck. And as we learn more and more shapes, more than just these 2 shapes, you'll see that you can, you know, using all kinds of different shapes that you haven't learned yet, right? Same chords, just different shapes. So now we're moving to the next shape, the A shape, A major and A minor, but we're going to make it simple. So I want to find that same chord, B. Here's a B on the E string, we covered that. Here's a B on the A string. So what do? Same thing, let's say I have my capo and I want to play a B major chord. Well, there's no open B major chord, right? Put on a capo, that note, I'm just telling you that note's a B. So what do? That's a B major, because this was A major, right? I know that this is A major. You can slide this shape around just the same way. It's like a random note here. All right, let's assume you don't know the name of this note. You can play an A chord, but it's not A anymore. It's now D, because the name of this note on the A string is D. So it's D major. Sometimes I'll use my one finger to cover these 3 notes. Don't be confused. It's the same as this chord. Open A. This note's a B. B major. C. C major. Okay. Same thing is true of minor. So like if I want a B minor chord, I think B. There's my B. And I plug in that note is on the A string, right? So I have to plug in an A shape right from open A. Not major, but minor. Put it right there. B minor. So now we have 2 ways of playing B minor. There's a B here, and I can play this E root shape. I take an E, slide it up here to get B minor. There's a B minor there. I plug in my A root shape to get B minor. Now, if you're confused, that's okay. I'm going to explain this a totally different way. So basically, you might say, why do I need 2 different B minors? And the reason is, like I said, if you want to play in one area of the neck, or if you have a song that's all open chords. Let's say I got a song and it goes like a Wicked Game. It goes B minor, A, and then E, right? That's a very convenient way to play that song. B minor, A, and E. I could have played my B minor here, my A there, and my E there, but that's a lot of sliding. Or I could have put that, what I could do instead is put that E on an A string root. That note's an E, I plug in my A chord there. So the reason you want to use bar chords is because they're not always accessible in open positions, right? They're not always open chords for the chord you're looking for. So, okay, so let's go back a step. People also get confused because they'll go like this. So like, okay, they'll think, oh, okay, B minor, and they find B here, and they'll go like this. But what's wrong with that? I'm doing, or they'll go like this. But no, that's F sharp minor, right? Little trick: if you're not letting the B ring in the B minor chord, if you're putting your ring finger there and going like this, it's just an F sharp minor without the F sharp in it. You're going 5 1 flat 3 5 1. You need, right? You're playing an E minor up there. But if I want a B minor, I need B, and I need to plug in the, I gotta think, what string is that shape on? It's on the A string, so I need an A shape. I need my A minor chord. That's a super common mistake people will make. They'll also get confused because that same chord, they'll go like this. They'll say, hey, I saw you play B minor like this, and you had that note down there. That's not a B. So it's like B. There you go. I want to play. Why is this not F sharp minor? An F sharp minor chord? Well, it just is a coincidence that a B minor chord has an F sharp in it. It doesn't mess up the chord. So just so you guys know, you don't have to play B minor just like this. You can also, if you're in a pinch, or you can just play the guitar like this. You can just cover that low string. It doesn't affect the quality. It's a coincidence that whenever we play our A root shapes, you can play the note below it on the E string. It's not going to mess up your chord. It'll just make it sound a little thicker. It's an inversion. So people will think, oh, why is this not F sharp minor? No, it's B minor with an F sharp in the bass. Doesn't change the fact that this is a B minor, right? Clear. This is B. This is F sharp minor. This is F sharp and this is a B. Sorry, this is a B. This is an F sharp. This is an F sharp minor chord. This is a B minor chord. Right? Can you see that? I'm playing A minor right there. Okay, so let's do this another way. Let's take a chord like a note like D. So here's a D here on the A string, and here's a D here on the low E string. I want to play D major in two places. What do I do to find one of those chords? Well, I think, okay, there's a D. What string is that on? That's on the A string, so I need an A major chord, right? I'm going to take my A like I had a capo, but I don't have my capo today, right? Oh crap, I don't have my capo. I'm using my pointer finger. D major. A major moved up to D, it's called D major. There's a D over here. What do I have to do? It's on the low E string. I take E major and go all the way up till I get to D, right? So that same song I had before, it was like, how did it go? It was like E minor, A minor, G, and then C. Well, how about I put E minor and G are convenient, right? Oh, it's E minor, A minor, G, and C. Right? So I decided for whatever reason not to play open chords. I like the sound of this, right? I could have put my E minor here, right? If one guy's going like this, I gotta do something else. So I might go. I'm playing pieces out of this, like this E minor chord. Here's my G. That's the top of a G. I know I'm messing up the chords right now, but you get the idea. Like A minor. What is that? That's just A minor down here moved all the way up here. And there was a C in there too, right? There's a C. I don't have to play this whole bar chord. I can use a little piece of it. I know this video is long, but people always get confused, so I wanted to cover every base for why we have bar chords and you know, how they work, because people really get lost when we start talking about these two shapes out of the cage system.